Hello everybody, I'm David. This is part 3 and my conclusion of my gossip segment. So I have talked about how gossip can destroy lives. Satan is the father of lies, and I say the father of gossip, because whether the gossip has truth in it, it's a lie. It is bearing false witness, because it is done out of hate, and there's no way gossip can be done out of love or concern. Because if you had true concern for that person, you'd go to that person. So Satan is the father of gossip, father of lies, and God hates it, guys. God hates gossip. If there's something God hates, I know it's gossip, because gossip separates, it excludes, it's pushing somebody out. It's damaging, it destroys, it's sickening. Even Jesus was gossiped about, and some of it was true. He did eat with sinners and drank with sinners and hung around with tax collectors, with all ungodly sorts. And thank God for that. We would be really screwed. So let's look at Proverbs chapter 6, chapter verse 16. It says, "The Lord hates 6 things. In fact, 7 are detestable to him: arrogant eyes, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that plots wicked schemes, feet eager to run to evil, a lying witness who gives false testimony, and one who stirs up trouble amongst brothers." Oh, guys, that last one really got me. But, so, the Lord cannot stand arrogant eyes. The Lord cannot stand a lying tongue. The Lord cannot stand someone who sheds innocent blood. You might think, oh, well, that means murder, killing people. And it does. It does. But I think even gossiping and lying about somebody behind their back is shedding of innocent blood. Even if they're still alive, you've pretty much killed that person and killed their integrity, and you killed their walk, and you killed their lives. The person would probably wish you killed them. And let's see, and of course, cannot stand a lying witness who gives false testimony, and cannot stand someone who stirs up trouble amongst brothers, and let's say amongst family. Guys, we as Christians, we have a tendency to do these things. I have seen it done. I have witnessed it, and I'm guilty. I've done it. I've done it. Lord forgive me. But yes, I have done it. I think we should really think twice before we commit such an offense. God hates these things. That would be the only reason why gossip's ever done. It is to stir up trouble. It is to stir up an argument. It's to stir up strife amongst people. And if it's done amongst the body of Christ, guys, why would anybody want anything to do with us? Why would anybody want anything to do with God? Why would anybody want anything to do with Jesus? You say, well, that's no excuse. You can't, they can't look at Jesus based on Christians. Well, Jesus says they can, and Jesus says they will. Jesus says they will know that you are my disciples by how you love one another. Jesus says these things. And so Jesus says that they will know that you are my disciple by how you love one another. So love one another as I have loved you. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. Treat others the way you want to be treated. If Jesus didn't think that it was a good excuse for them to turn, for an individual to turn their back on God or even become atheist because of a way a Christian acts, Jesus thinks is a very good excuse. And Jesus would not put the blame on them, or he would put the blame on us. Jesus will put the blame on us if we cause anybody to stumble, if we cause anybody to doubt Jesus through our actions. And guys, it happens every day. People judge people who go to the gym saying, I can't go to that gym, it's full of fat people. If you're willing to judge a gym by those who work out there, obviously they're going to judge God by who claims to serve him. You know, and it says, well, I can't go to that that person's house, who they claim to love people, but they're cussing out the husband's cussing out the wife's cussing out the husband, or they're cussing out their kids. I can't go to that house. They claim to be a loving family, but they're hypocrites. Yeah, I mean, if you don't judge a household by one individual, people are obviously going to judge the Christian faith by Christians. This is the way it is. So let's look at Leviticus chapter 19. I love this verse because it is this verse is quoted throughout the Bible. I'm going to start with verse 16. It says, "Do not go about spreading slander among your people. Do not jeopardize your neighbor's life. I am the Lord. Do not harbor hatred against your brother. Rebuke your neighbor directly, and you will not incur guilt because of him. Do not take revenge or bear a grudge against members of your community, but love your neighbor as yourself. I am the Lord." Guys, it says, do not spread slander amongst your people. Do not jeopardize your neighbor's life. I am the Lord. So it's saying, if you're slandering him, you're jeopardizing his life. You're jeopardizing, or her life. You are jeopardizing the life of an individual by slandering them. This is, and it says that do not harbor hatred against your brother or sister, guys, or family members. Don't do that. It's just but if you have an issue, go and talk to him. Go face to face with that person. Don't talk behind their back. Human up. I'm not gonna say man up or woman up, guys. Human up. Okay? Because I don't like that, for one thing. That man up and woman up thing needs to go. Personal thing. Well, I'll do a segment on that one day. But human up. We're all humans. We're all made in the image of the Lord. We all must human up, and go and face the individual that we have some kind of problem against. If they really did something wrong, go and talk to them, face to face. Don't manipulate the situation. There's something that I think that we do all too often. We like to manipulate the situations to work for our benefit, so we look right. This says, "Do not take revenge or bear a grudge against the members of your community, but love your neighbor as you love yourself." Bang! That's where everything's been quoted from. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. I know I'm passionate about this, guys, and I'm going to always be passionate about it because I've seen damage done. I have seen people destroy. I have been at the blunt end of gossip. I have been in the blunt end. My life, I've had my ministry from a previous church I was going to pretty much snatched away from me because of gossip. It is a painful thing, and it takes forever. It takes forever to get over. Thank God. I pray each and every day for God to help me to continue to forgive. It takes a while to forgive gossip and slander, and it's slowly coming. It's coming about, and I'm not doing this because I'm bitter about it for my life, but I don't want anybody else to suffer from this, and don't even be the ones who suffer because you've done it. That guilt will eat at you. I know. I've been in the blunt end of that. I've experienced the guilt of slandering somebody else, and I'll be honest with you, it took me longer to get over that than it did actually receiving of being done to me, other than receiving the slander. So Matthew 5 verse 23 says, "So if you're offering your gift on the altar, and there you remember that your brother or sister has something against you, leave your gift there in front of the altar. first go and be reconciled with your brother or sister, and then come back and offer your gift. So it's saying that if you remember that a brother or sister has an issue against you, you might as well go ahead and lay that offering down and go fix it with that person. It means you must have caused some serious offense. Or even if you didn't, even if this person might, you might have done nothing, but this person just might have something against you, or you might not even know that you've done anything, or you might not know what you've done. But if so, still, you got to go and fix it. You got to make it right, because that person is suffering for some reason. And if that person is suffering on our account, we got to make it right. If someone's suffering on my account, I got to make it right. We got to make things right, because we don't want to be the cause of any kind of suffering. Matthew 18. So verse 15. I know I got a lot. Guys, I know I got a lot. Please forgive me. But I think it's important that these scriptures are seen, that you know what I'm talking about. Matthew 18. If your brother sins against you, start with verse 15. Go and rebuke him in private. So in other words, don't go in and openly embarrass the person, or don't go and talk about the person to somebody else. Go and talk to them one-on-one. Queuing up. Go talk to them one-on-one. If he listens to you, you have won your brother. If he won't listen, take one or two others with you, so that by the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses, every fact may be established. If he doesn't pay attention to them, tell the church. If he doesn't pay attention even to the church, let him be like a Gentile and a tax collector to you. Truly I tell you, whatever you bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatsoever you loose on earth will have been loosed in heaven. Truly I tell you, if 2 of you on earth agree about any matter that you pray for, it will be done for you by my Father in heaven. For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, I am there among them. Now let's take a look at this, because this has been taken out of context so many times. We're putting it in the full context of what Jesus is talking about. It says, so you go to your brother in private. Don't embarrass him. Don't talk about him. Don't put him down in front of people. Go and talk to him one-on-one. If he listens, or she listens, whoever listens, good. The individual listens to you, fantastic. You won them over. If they don't listen to you, take 2 with you. Maybe there has to be some people there to kind of back you up, and to kind of not be on your side or on his side, but they can listen to the disagreement and determine the right way to go about it. If even the person doesn't listen there, then yes, the church needs to be brought into this as a community, so that they can intervene, not out of hate and not out of against the individual, but why is this problem occurring in the first place? As a family, let's fix this. If even then it doesn't happen, Jesus, knowing the hard-heartedness of the people he's talking to, he says, then consider him a Gentile or a tax collector. In other words, don't consider him a believer. Maybe he's not even a believer. So in other words, but then, it was a very harsh time, so they looked at it as, okay, Gentiles and tax collectors, bad. Jesus is using the hard-heartedness of the crowd to kind of get them to understand where he's coming from. But then he goes off to say, pray about it. Lift the matter up to the Lord. If your heart is truly about this, and you truly love this person, and you truly want things made right, make sure that I'm in the midst. Because if I'm in the midst, then it's going to be done right, because I'm in the midst. Jesus says, with 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, I'm in the midst. So it says, know that I'm with you. I can help you out with this person. Don't let bitterness eat you up. Don't talk about them. But pray to me about it. Pray about it to the Father, so that it's done out of love, and it's not done out of malice. So let's really try to understand what Jesus is saying here. Okay, it's all about that situation. So, let's go to 1 John chapter 4. Starting with verse 20. Actually, I'm going to start verse 19 because I love this verse. We love because he loved us first. So that's the only reason. So that's the reason why we truly love, because Jesus loved us first. It's what brought love into us. You can't give what you haven't received. If you haven't received it, you can't give it. So we love because he first loved us first. You know, if anyone says, I love God, and yet hates his brother or sister, he is a liar. For the person who does not love his brother or sister whom he has seen cannot love God whom he has not seen. And we have this command from him. The one who loves God must also love his brother or sister. Guys, it's simple. How can we love God and even Jesus, guys? How can we love Jesus who, during this day, we have not seen this guy? We know by faith he exists. We know by faith Jesus has done what he's done. And even studying, the history and all, we know that this man walked the earth. And he was crucified. And according to 500 witnesses, this man rose from the dead. And even those who've seen him afterwards. Even after this. So, guys, if we say we love God, we have not seen, but we don't love those who we see face to face, then we can't have the love of God in our hearts, and therefore we can't love God. And love is not just a word; it's an action. And there's also the noun love, which is the agape love, which must dwell in our hearts, which is the love of God. God is love. God is love, the noun that lives in our hearts, therefore should help us put out the agapeo, which is the verb of love. So we must have that. Especially as Christians, we claim to be something. There has to be actions behind that, which is why James argues faith without work is dead. It's not saying that our salvation is by works. But it's saying that if you say you have the love of God in your hearts, but you're not showing it, your faith is dead. Your faith is dead if you're not showing this. So Galatians chapter 6 verse 1 says, brothers and sisters, if someone is overtaken in any wrongdoing, you who are spiritual, restore such a person with a gentle spirit, watching out for yourselves so that you won't be tempted. So it's saying that if someone's fallen and they're messing up, don't talk about them, but help them. Help restore them with a gentle spirit. Don't be harsh and hateful and cruel to the individual and gossip about the individual, but be there for them. Help restore them if they fall into some kind of wrongdoing. It's just, watch yourself so that you won't be tempted to do these things, because that's automatically our first thing. Is that, you know what so-and-so just did? And they claim to be a pastor and all. David, did you see what David did? Oh my God, what a hypocrite. Oh, David said a curse word, or David did this, or David did that. No, you gotta, we have to love one another. And that's why it even says to carry one another's burdens. In this way, you fulfill the law of Christ. And 5:14, chapter 5, verse 14 says, for the whole law is fulfilled in one statement: love your neighbor as you love yourself. I had to end with that. I'm sorry. You guys, this is something that I take to my heart, and I hope you've liked this video. I hope you liked this series. Please, like this video, check out my other ones, subscribe to my channel. Guys, I need you. I can't do this without you. God bless you all. I love you.